Welcome back to Reality Inspired with Ashley Inspires. We are going to talk about initiation to integration and how the going through the fires of change refine you, and how those challenges with breakthroughs, breakups, and breakdowns are truly how we evolve as a species in our mindset and our in the way that we are being a species. So to go through these initiations is what I call them, but they're because I know that language now, but it seems like you're living hell on earth right now. Like like the shit hit the fan. Everything feels like it's falling apart. You're emotionally, you're just like unruly. You don't know what emotion's going to come out next. Little wired and tired, and there you see a pattern unfold before you that that creates a way of being and attracts the same energies, and you kind of look around and you're like, the only common denominator here is me. So how do I shift from being this person that attracts these things and has these outcomes that are not serving the person? So how do we start to in real time shift those learnings, those little nuggets, the awakening, the all that the insight you got with plant medicine, the download you got from that last time you were in meditation, the those little sparks of intuition, of enlightenment, of oh, that was a good idea, is is what we want to connect deeper to, because those are moments of presence. And in those moments of presence, we have an opportunity to take a new action, have a new thought, followed by a new emotion, followed by a new belief that is in your greatest and highest good. Because the thoughts and the beliefs you have been having suck. And that's why you're attracting the same stuff. If you are noticing loser energy in your life, it's in your energetic signature. And I know it just means you're the pattern is in the field because it energetically is in the lineage, it's in the bloodline. If we do not begin to epigenetic it, instead of just saying, oh, genetics, this is how it is, this is how it was, da 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 da, we're having these old mammalian mindsets that are still thinking about the past, because every little thing has defined you up into this moment. And those are energies that end up being karmic bonds. So here's a story. One of the initiations that I've gotten in the last 3 years was a had to do with a relationship pattern that I saw and that I had to live out, even though I was like recognizing in the moment that this is really incongruent. And I shared it with my mom, and she got quiet and she said, "Me too." And I mean, this was like a big thing. It like took up a lot of my mental capacity, a lot of space. It had a lot of emotion around it. And my mom tells me she lived through the same thing, that she did the same thing. And that I had to it felt like I had to live this out because I was healing the family lineage, because it happened to my mom and most likely her mother before her and the mother before her. So we start to see that ancestral lineage. That's why they say when we do this work, we're clearing the generation lines 7 to 10 past, 7 to 10 forward. And that's because they've been carrying this weight, the grief, the suffering, the sorrow, the incongruencies, if they've got a certain kind of mindset, if there's lack and poverty, if there's like that bad boy gangster, like gotta survive kind of thing. There's this aloofness or whatever. It's like we try to be different from our parents, but we end up, it's like, what's that nature versus nurture thing? And it's so incredible to, once you start unraveling these things and you get to see the journey, you come out a different person. And if you're integrating, reminding yourself that you're having these insights and keeping the embodiment of it, and in the prayer and the ceremony and the sacredness of the insight, of the awakening, of the lived experience, giving gratitude for the lived experience, like having had that experience, because it couldn't have happened any other way. It was already fated. It was already written in the stars. And for especially the millennials and Z's, we're coming in here like clearing the trauma. And so it's been really hard emotionally and energetically. That's why we're seeing the depression rates, the anxiety rates, but we are waking up as a collective that there are tools now: breath work, hypnosis, yoga, movement of any kind, biohacking, nutrition, and all that stuff just clears your vessel and the energetics around you to create a new form, a form that you're consciously creating, that you're consciously involved in the creation of your form. Now that old stuff is cleared and it's eliminated because we took responsibility for it. You did it. It happened. You're grateful for the happening because of the lesson and the knowing and the truth that you have on the other side of it. It is the battle. It is going face to face with your monsters, with your darkness, with your shadow. There is the victim that lives inside of most of us. All is what wants to come out, but I feel there's some people that I'm sure don't feel victim. Buddha and the ascended masters. So to become the conscious creator, knowing that it's like you had to clear this timeline. This timeline had to get clear. Now you can jump onto the next one because you like Kuan Yin that shit with your samurai swords. Bumped, bruised, like you fought a battle. Like you did fight a battle. I can tell you that. I know you did, sister. I know, brother. You fought that battle. I know you did. You slayed your dragons. You battled your shadow. Yeah, but and it's not, it is like a lifting up of that. It is not living in shame. It is not living in regret. It is not this fear and the guilt and the shame and the, I said those already, and the grief is the word I was looking for, and the sorrow and the oh, but I'm always this, and I always do the thing, and I do the thing again, and I'm just a ah, those doubts, those limitations. I'm not good with this. I'm not good with that. I'm not good in that. I'm not good with this. I'm feeling, I know what I don't want. A lot of people know what they don't want, but a lot of people don't know what they do want. Nobody knows what they do want because they're like, oh, in hypnosis, I ask everybody the same question. I say, I'm your fairy godmother. And I wave my magic wand. And abracadabra, you get to have anything that you need. Your desired outcome is granted. And it's like, well, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And I don't want to have to wake up to that and go through this again. And I'm like, okay, what do you want? And then maybe I'll get like peace or something. So identifying what it is that we do want. And then trust starting to embody our intuition comes in, where we have to question, like, if it's, this is another really great knowing. If it is not a yes, then it is a hard no. If it's not an F yes, it's a hard no. Because the maybe, you have to stay, or no, maybe it's not a hard no. It's not a hard no. It's just like, if it's a maybe, I guess I got a little lost here. I think I mixed it up a little bit. But the maybe is the incongruency. You can't, when there are two parts that are pulling together, like pulling apart like freight trains going in opposite directions, that is an incongruency. That is your beliefs versus your desires. That is creating tension. That is insistence upon your resistance. That is not budging. So you believe this one thing, and your desire is that of something greater that you actually don't believe is you can have. And you don't realize you won't let yourself have it because it's a blind spot. You don't realize that you're your own creator, that you're the master and the servant. Mind is the servant. You are the master. This body. Self-mastery comes from knowing that we are pliable and that we can shift our beliefs by shifting an emotion into a higher frequency. The elevated thought with the elevated feeling. And then when you have the elevated thought and the elevated feeling in a positive, uplifting way, then everybody gets to orgasm. Yeah! That's what the SIG's magic is that when you're at that vibration of like all this good feeling stuff of like, amplifying, energizing, getting that momentum, have an orgasm, come to climax, and watch everything that you've integrated through your initiations, your embodiment, your beingness gets you to be it. You get to do it, and then you have it. Action. Be about it. Take your action, and you will watch the embodiment of your initiations going through the fire of change, up-leveling you to your highest self. If this resonates with you, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. It's very late here. It's almost midnight. I'm going to go to bed, but I just wanted to bring us back. It's been a minute. So, thanks for being here. Love ya. Ciao for now.